Hey everyone, today you're gonna get to watch me draw I'm deciding whether I want to draw Kris or Frisk for this, but I'm going to be briefing over a theory I have for Undertale and Deltarune. Let's get right into it. So, I've been thinking, I came up with this, don't take this too seriously, because I came up with this like 9:30 at night. So, don't take this at face value. Like, I don't really have a lot of experience working with theories and lore, but um I've been thinking that it's possible that Undertale is just a dream Kris is having. So, as we all know, I hope you know this, geez. Or maybe I'm just oh wow, I don't even know what I just did. Um as I hope most of us know, uh how dreaming works. You're always dreaming. It doesn't necessarily mean that you remember the dream, but you always have to be dreaming. Oh, otherwise you literally go insane. But in Deltarune, right after we get out of our vessel maker, we transport to Kris being woken up by Toriel, and I was thinking that there's a definite chance of Kris having had a dream beforehand. As we know, Undertale focuses mainly on Asriel um, in almost every ending except for the genocide route. But uh, we all know Kara and Asriel were supposed to be siblings, like raised like siblings. And Kara and Frisk are the only known, like, the only humans we have really learned about. The only living human we know about is Frisk. So, I was thinking if I feel like Kris dreamed up Undertale and designed Kara in their mindscape to be like the equivalent of them in that universe because I feel like they were so desperate to see their brother again that their mind took on those lonely feelings and turned them into a dream, which they can't just be named the Dreemurrs for anything. And think about it. Hold on, I need to look at my paper that I wrote last night at 9:30 p.m. So, Kris is dreaming, and we, the soul, possess them right then, and they dreamed Undertale about, and that was like their first introduction of the soul. They stand up to the soul more than Frisk because Frisk is the equivalent of like them in the dream. They take on the role of Frisk. So here's how the order goes. The player controls the soul, which is controlling Kris, who controls Kara, who controls Frisk. Because there are some things that don't need to make sense uh in the Undertale universe just due to it being part of Kris's mindscape. Like, I think it's quite funny, actually, because it seems like Undertale, that very end of it, transitions pretty well into the waking, like, Kris waking up at the beginning of Deltarune. And as Kris is the only living human we see in Deltarune, I feel like Risk being the only living human we see in Undertale, like, represents that pretty well. Like, how Kris sees it. And, okay, none of this is making sense, is it? But, so, okay, let me truly brief this. Oh, no. Hold on. So, also, Kara being like Kris being Asriel's sibling is like somewhat. Their sweaters are the exact same. Like, Kara, Kris, and Asriel's shirts are all the same. It's like Kris's mind crafted Kara to be an alternate version of them, as I was saying. Fun value anomalies are just Kris's unconscious mind creating random crap, like in real dreams we have. And the reason for the same cast being there is that faces we've seen in dreams are only ones we've seen in real life. We cannot create our own faces in our minds, which I'll give it the exception for like I'll give it the exception for maybe like Sans, but I'm sure there has to be like some sort of way Kris saw Sans before. And then so what else do I have to go over? Oh, and when we jump into Kris's mind at the beginning of Deltarune, so you don't have to necessarily remember dreams, but you always have dreams. So, by that logic, if Kris forgot the dream, Kris only lets us see as much as they like Kris lets us see what they allow us to see, but if they don't want us to see something, they'll hide it from us. So, they could have like forgotten the dream, which means we never experience it in Deltarune. Undertale is just when the soul experiences it in Deltarune, but like the soul basically forgot it. Then, okay, I know this is kind of sketchy. Uh, reading through all of this. But yeah, centers. So, Undertale is a dream from Kris centering on an alternate version of their brother due to the loneliness they experience from him being away at college, if he's actually at college, and uh centers on an alternate version of Israel. Frisk is the only living human we know of and Kris is a soul, which is us, controlling Kris through Kara controlling Frisk is controlling Frisk, and like Kris is the only human we know of in Undertale, or not, Deltarune. Oh my lord, I can't words today, but point being, that was my theory. Here's a Kris drawing. So, let me read through the entirety of what I wrote last night to sum it all up. Okay. Undertale Deltarune Dream Theory. The player controls a soul who controls Kris, who controls Kara, who controls Frisk. Also, Kris and Frisk have similar names. Kris is dreaming right as the soul possesses them, so they dreamed Undertale. We control the soul in Kris, who controls Kara, controlling Frisk. The entire thing is one big dream from Kris, centering on an alternate version of their brother. The soul does not play this part, as if Kris forgot the dream, causing that soul to never experience it. In real life, faces in dreams are only ones we've seen before, like in real life, which is why the games have the same cast. Kris's previous knowledge of all the characters from Deltarune, everyone they know in town, passes over to being the cast of Undertale because those are the faces they know. And then Undertale's ending transitions pretty well into when Toriel wakes you up in the first chapter of Deltarune. Also, Frisk is the only living human we see in Undertale. In Deltarune, Kris is the only human. Kara, Kris, and Azrael have the same shirts, like Kris's mind crafted Kara to be an alternate version of them. Fun value anomalies are just Kris's unconscious mind creating random crap, like in the real dreams we have. Like, we have very bizarre dreams in real life. Like, I'm sure you all know. But that's about all the evidence I have to back it up. It may not be enough, and it may not be a lot. I may be going out on a limb, but that's what I personally am starting to believe. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy the drawing.